Alright, hey guys, this is Alto. I'm going to be doing a bit of a commentary on CP Glassworks rc5, namely for feedback given to Crash. When I first saw this map, I wasn't too happy with it. I think there's definitely some good ideas in the map, and I think some of the thought patterns there are pretty interesting, but I feel like it's got some pretty glaring issues, so I'm just going to make this video rather than making a huge post on the forums, just because I feel like it'll be easier to keep my thoughts together this way. So I'm going to start at last, and first off, I haven't played this map yet in scrims. I have friends that have pugged on it, I've ran around on it, and just, this is just my initial impressions of it, so keep that in mind. From what I have heard, last is pretty hard to defend compared to other 5CP maps. I don't think that's entirely a bad thing. 5CP lasts are almost infamously, stalematy and can have huge issues, but I feel like this one makes it really hard to defend it in ways that it shouldn't be. The first thing I want to point out is that there's only 3 ways to get from the upper level back into spawns. There's this set of boxes, and this ramp. Now, I think these boxes here, the positioning of them is fine. I just think that there's kind of an over-reliance on props rather than, straight up ramps to actually be used for travel as far as last goes. I think that just the fact that you need to, just strafe on here, and even though that's not anything huge, it's still an issue, and sometimes if you need to reach resupply, you're not gonna, if you mess up one of those jumps on the boxes here, you're gonna die for that, and you really shouldn't. I mean, that's something you could easily just put a ramp, starting from here, going up to here, and you can do the same thing on the other side, and you can even make it symmetrical. Moving on, there's this ramp over here, which is really not going to be super useful for defense. I mean, obviously they're going to be playing around on last, but this is almost as good of an offensive tool if you're pushing in from last than it is over there. But moving out into the lobby, into last, this is one of my biggest issues right away, is that this is a sightline that's going to be extremely hard to defend against, because unless the defending team here has a large amount of lobby control, any sniper is just going to be able to jump up here, quick scope someone running out of spawn, and go back out, which essentially, makes that spawn door almost impossible to use safely, because it's like, it's really similar to the right spawn door on Gully last because of how the balcony looks into it. But balcony is a sightline that's easily defendable. A soldier or a heavy up on there by the pipe can defend that. Whereas if a scout or a soldier, roam this far into lobby, they're gonna get destroyed by the rest of the enemy team. They don't have to go that far in Gully. I think some of the health and ammo positioning is kind of whack here. So there's a small ammo pack sitting there, a small health and ammo pack sitting there. I don't believe there's anything. There's a medium ammo pack in secret. Then you've got a medium health and medium ammo pack here. You've got a regular small health pack here. And then dropping down, I think there's another medium and health and ammo pack here. And you've got just a regular small ammo pack sitting there. I think the small ammo packs it's kind of placed really far out of the way. This is a good pack spot. I think this is a really solid place where there can be a lot of contention around this. But there's so many health packs just sitting around in lobby where blue's at least in this case, blue's gonna have to be holding. I just beefed that jump there, but blue's gonna have to be holding the last point, which means they're gonna have access to that small health pack there and the one over on right side here, which is fine because they have spawns right here, this sightline notwithstanding. But red has access to a small health pack there, a medium health pack there. They've got another medium health pack down here, and then they can potentially get another small one if they're pushing out into last. And compared to the last points on other maps, say Process or Gully, there's not that much health that close together. On Process, you've got the medium health pack in lobby that's fought over. Then the only other medium pack is all the way either back in sewer or in IT, and there's a small pack under the point, and that's about it. Oh, there's the small pack in rollout as well, which is also contested, whereas pretty much all of these health packs give the attacking team a lot of resources. Since I'm over here, I feel like this is one of the four main ways to push into last, which I don't think is going to be extremely effective due to this glass window. This is a very kind of roundabout path because you have to get your entire combo up onto this upper level, which there's only that staircase there, or those props there, and then this staircase. You have to go up around where the entire team's going to see you push in here. Then you have to go through one choke, two choke, and you're going to get fired on by the rest of the team. So I think a removal of this window would actually do a lot of good for just making that useful. And even though I'm saying that it's hard to defend, I think that's just bad design there. And I think there's other options you could use to make this a little easier to defend. To be honest, this whole lower area, I'm intrigued with, because I feel like it'd be really easy to demolish a team and force them early by dropping down on them from here or spamming them out here, but I think how close it is to the point is really interesting, so I'm going to reserve judgment on that. But I feel like it should be where, like, a point, you should be able to take it when you outplay the enemy team, when, you know, when they're playing at their best and you're playing at their best. I feel like this is just kind of hurting, like this you know, main, I guess, here, is hurting offense by taking it because of how long and how predictable it is, whereas, you know, down here they're exposing themselves to choke, which again is a good thing, but the fact that it's kind of an effort for, you know, the defending team, if they're on the floor, to get back up to the upper level and, you know, access their spawns or higher ground, because either they're going to have to go all the way up to take this ramp, which is really far out, or they're going to have to waste time on the boxes when just, I mean, as I said before, just adding a ramp here I think could do a load of good, because you're not cutting off anything. I mean, this under push here isn't really going to be affected if there's a ramp leading up here. I mean, maybe this little corner here might be remade a bit, but otherwise it's going to be the same thing over here, and I think it would just remove a lot of frustration and deal with that issue of props being over relied on. And I think this right here is another thing where this is just kind of needlessly obtuse, needing to do 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps, including a crouch jump, to get up here, when, you know, a sniper just perched on here. If this was a ramp, you know, you'd still have the sight line for better or for worse. But it's just, again, I don't see any reason for that. This shutter here doesn't serve purpose and is kind of baity. I don't know. I mean, you expect it to do something, it doesn't affect gameplay. It's the same thing with that down here, which, as I said before, this area has no purpose other than just maybe giving red, if they're pushing in here, another area to hide or something, and I don't think that's necessary. As far as the rest of the lobby goes, I think, again, I don't know if that health pack needs to be there, given that there's already one down there, and it's not very hard to switch between them, and you can go between them without, you know, even having to risk any sniper sightlines or really any spam, except unless if you somehow get focused down from there, but that's not going to be very likely given how teams are probably going to hold this. So overall, I think the fact that, you know, there is a bit of travel time between the floor and the spawns or the upper ground is a good thing as far as defending it. I feel like making these jumps is just needlessly obtuse, and, you know, for players that are newer to the game, this doesn't, you know, it's not gonna like hurt anything by putting a ramp here. It's just gonna make people frustrated because, you know, sometimes or say that, like, you know, there's a little ledge here that I'm just clipping on. So, you know, if I play medic, I don't want to get caught on that because I'm going into spawn. And, you know, there's gonna be a lot of floor play as well. So I think Secret's fine. You know, again, I think this ramp is good. I just think there need to be more. I don't know why these barrels are here. All I can really see this doing is either being a spy decloak spot or a spot where you can play as sniper and watch really 3 out of the 4 main entrances with half cover when you're sitting in spawn. I mean, I guess you can do the same thing here as well, and that might even be worse. But again, those don't serve any purpose. Glass in the spawn is very good, so you can see everything. This pipe, you know, just adds a little flavor, so again, I think like things like this, like the pipe, I like stuff like this because, you know, it adds a little flavor, adds height differences, you know, everything's not so flat, everything's not like granary. But, you know, this medium ammo pack is just floating here in the middle of nowhere, not doing anything. It's out of the way because combo's probably not going to be holding that far. Flank, I'd imagine, would hold over here on this side to prevent the sniper from getting a sightline on the combo, and because of that, the medic would have to play either right side and you could hold this like gully last and you treat that like shutter, or I don't know, I was thinking maybe of perching a heavy on here, but he's pretty open to sniper sightlines. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of places here that could be touched up. Even so, just like, this is just another spy decloak spot and stuff like this, and this pack here, just, I mean, just only serves, well actually, I amend that because it gives health when blue is holding here. But with that, I mean, I think this wall doesn't need to really be a wall. You can just put a walkway up there, and it would help maybe give defense a little more control of lobby by removing that and making it more dangerous to cross in there. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's, you know, exactly what is for the best, but just an idea I'm throwing out there. I don't know. I like the ability that you can rotate here, and I think that's a really good idea, but I just feel like it could be executed a little better. Anyway, with that, I'm going to conclude most of what I'm talking about first and move on to second here. The biggest thing about second that jumps out at me is the fact that this is a thing. This should not be a thing. You can see, literally, if you move far enough, you can see every single entrance into the site, with the exception of this one, but they're going to walk into the sightline anyway once they move down those stairs. I don't see any reason why that needs to be there, why any team should have to worry about, you know, a sniper that can see literally every angle on, you know, process. At least if, you know, a sniper is playing by rollout, then he can't see into IT and he can't see into, he can't see into sewer. But here he can see every single entrance, and this is really dumb. I mean, there's no reason for this to be here, I don't think. There's enough sightlines where a sniper can play. If he's playing here, you can still see here, you can still look in there, and it makes him a little more vulnerable. He can play, you know, lower. He still has a bunch of good sightlines, but it's just not as ridiculously, you know, I don't know, I don't even have the word. It's just, it's not all powerful. That's literally all powerful. But while I'm here, I really like this one-way window. I think this is really cool, and I wish more maps would incorporate, you know, just tools like this, because it does give, you know, a little element of surprise, and I think that adds to gameplay. What I don't like about this is the way this wall is positioned, where it's really difficult for a team to always be able to defend this, just because I have a feeling that the main combo hold is going to be placed, you know, you're going to have like your heavy and demo up here with the Med's going to be playing back here into lobby, because he can just sit here and spy check. He's very safe from bombers, very safe from scout and soldiers, but I don't know, I mean, I think that is a good trade-off, but the fact that you have to risk a lot if a soldier, you know, just jumps to the point here, I think that's not, you know, how you shouldn't be able to cap here while the combo is on the other side of this wall without them needing to peek and risk so much spam. That just seems not like a very good, I don't know what the word is, but the way that you'd have to be forced to hold that's just really awkward and doesn't reward good play for the right reasons. This health pack here, I'm not sure how I feel about it. This feels like a consolation health pack, like, alright, you tried to push, but you failed, so you drop down here and take this health pack, and you're really not going to get challenged for it, because there's so much area on this right side, which I think could be toned down a bit. You've got 1, 2, 3, even possibly 4 ways someone could sneak in here, and then you can run in here, get behind and last, and cause a lot of havoc. That flank's going to need to be playing here pretty much all the time, unless there's a hold that puts combo here, but I wouldn't risk that. Yeah, that's definitely just, I feel like this health pack, and again, because of the walk you'd have to take up, this makes it really, really hard for the defense to use, because if you walk down here as a combo class or even a pyro, you're gonna get spammed out by something. A demo's probably gonna be close enough to be in here and shoot you out, or a sniper's gonna be looking at this somewhere. And that health pack just seems really ill-placed, and I don't know if it was placed. I really don't know, but maybe if it was placed down here or something, where at least the flank on the defending team could use it a little better. But beyond that, again, I think this has the issue where the defense has nowhere near enough health packs, especially considering they're not pushed up against spawn. Because for the combo holding here, there's this small one, which is right in them, and then anything else is going to require a drop down to get to. I guess the medium one there isn't too far out of reach, but even then it's like, it's stacking in a weird way, so that these health packs are only going to be used by the combo defending this. There's not, you know, a good spread of health packs, and they're not going to be competed over. That pack down there can't be competed over, because if defense goes down there when offense is pushing, they're going to get destroyed by this. This pack here leading into mid is, you know, completely out of offense's or defense's range, except maybe a really far up sniper. This pack is only for defense. There's no, you know, only for offense, excuse me. The defense flank is not going to go up in here unless there's a scout going on a tear. This is the only pack I can see that's like, you know, that would actually be contested over. And I feel like that's so far out of the way that a lot of the times if you're contesting over this pack, you're going to get something that's going to slip behind you and go mess with your combo here. I don't have many comments about this forward spawn. I think it's interesting that it's so far out of the way. And I feel like in this case, using the prop and the truck instead of a ramp might be a good idea. I don't know, I don't feel like it's going to come into play, but it is something where if a sniper rotates flank, he could get up here and cause a lot of havoc in here with this sightline that I don't think needs to be there. I don't know. The other thing that I really dislike about second is that the only real way to get back up top, which is where, you know, defense is really going to need to be to defend the point, is either through this ramp, which is going to be highly contested, and that's a good thing, but this truck, you needing to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps while you're extremely vulnerable. I think that's just way too slow and kind of awkward. If you want to keep the truck here, that's fine, you know, give it a spy or something, a way to jump up, but I feel like there should be another way up somewhere in here. I'm not sure what would happen here, even if you just wanted to put a steep ramp right here. I think that would help both offense and defense. It would make defense a little more forgiving, and would get offense another way to push up and actually get on this deck. That would be really interesting and wouldn't take, you know, you really can't Uber like a demo up here or a medic, because the medic's gonna waste the entire Uber jumping up on here. That's about 3 or 4 seconds, so it's a bit of an issue. Otherwise, I don't think second is as bad. I think the numerous ways to push in are a good thing, because you can still control, you know, the area well enough that you're not going to get ran off of second. And other than that one sniper sightline over on flank, I think the sniper sightlines are really manageable. Other than that one, and of course the one up there, which is like Satan incarnate. But I think, you know, if you stick a sniper here, it's very clear what area you're denying. You can place a sniper all the way back in this tunnel, and, you know, he's got a view on the point, but he's not dominating flank at the same time. I mean, I think the rock is well placed. It covers up that grate down there. Oh, also, when I was saying that there's no other ways to get back up, there is, you know, running back into the grate and up the stairs, which is, I guess that could work if it had to, but I feel like there should be another way up here. This is a bit of an awkward area, but I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. I like the little flower pot in the fence. It adds some flavor. I think second's an alright point that could be, oh, that's neat. That could be really good. A little bit of work. So I'm going to start moving on to mid. And first thing I'm going to say is that because I'm here, this is a really just kind of awkward area. I think that it's way too small to be able to hold it. So you're going to be forced to put someone here to watch it. But then if a soldier goes here, he can just spam around. A demo can spam around. And just explosives are going to be way too powerful in this. I feel like this could be widened by a bit. And even maybe made, you know, to kind of go off on kind of like a curve. Like it starts around here, then curves off and comes back in over here. Or anything to make this less of like an add-on and more of a legitimate spot where one rocket isn't going to splash off of the entire wall. Otherwise, I think there's 3 entrances into mid. There's the one we just went through. There's this one coming out of the main kind of hub between mid and second, and there's the flank side all the way over here. I think there's quite a bit of distance between these, but I think that's alright. As far as holding mid goes, you're probably going to, you know, have a heavier demo, maybe play somewhere in here, or I don't know, split something up, maybe have sniper play in here, and have flanko play on flank side, so I think this is fine. But as far as pushing into mid, I think this is completely unnecessary. Why you need to make a sniper even more powerful at mid by giving him cover that he can hide behind and not get splashed, and seems really questionable given how big of a wall the house is by itself. Something that does need to be noted is that any normal speed class can strafe jump onto that box. I will get this eventually. You have to, again, strafe jump it onto the corner. Messing this up right now, but I'll get it. There we go. Yeah, then you can get up on here, and the fact that this is a sightline is a crime against humanity, but it's pretty minor. Although a sniper up here, it will be ridiculous to push against. He's going to deny both of those areas while being pretty hard to backstab and pretty hard to kill by any other means. Especially given that both of those 2 points there are underneath a roof, meaning that soldiers aren't going to be able to bomb out of that, leaving only the flank side here, where you're at a low ground, you're coming out of a ceiling, and you've got all of this area here to deal with. I don't think that's great. I do like the midpoint. I think it gives you cover, but it also makes you vulnerable, which a lot of the really good midpoints like Gully and Process both have, and again, the one-way mirrors are really cool. They add a lot of flavor to it, and, you know, a bit of an interesting element that you don't find anywhere else. I'm not sure why there are 2 medium ammo packs down here instead of 1 big one, but that's, you know, that's a minor detail that it doesn't matter. I'm assuming the forward spawns are here, although I'm not positive. I'd like to think that when red has blue second, they spawn. I guess they'd spawn at this one, that's alright. This is a really weird area, though, because I think that most of the time, whoever has mid is going to need to be holding up by, you know, the enemy's side. The fact that this choke is so far out of the way, and that this whole area is fairly well covered, and you can go straight from that door all the way back here into second, and to an easy spawn camp, is a little bit of an issue. I don't know. I mean, I think as far as health pack goes, you've got that one there, and there's the one under. I don't know, I think that is a little out of the way, but if a medic has to, they can back up into the little flower room here and pick that up. So I guess that can work. I think maybe having another health pack somewhere, even maybe on the point somewhere, or somewhere a little more centrally located. Hell, even on top of the roof might be an idea. Actually, scratch that, that'd be pretty bad, but I don't know, I don't think there's enough health here, but that's something we can wait and see for. Otherwise, I think mid's alright. I think sniper's going to be really powerful on it, and this is only contributing to that. The other thing I know I wanted to touch on that I saw was, if you go over here, as much as I like gimmicks, I feel like this is just a little too much. This allows a soldier to pretty much completely deny the enemy flank from pushing into mid with you know, no real effort required. I mean, he can get crossbows from medic playing over there, just spam down non-stop while the scouts, you know, calling stuff out for him. I don't think that's necessary, but otherwise I think mid's probably the strongest point. Maybe if something was done about this, and I could even see this whole room being opened up and just being this kind of walkway here, which I think this room also is a little complex, but not to a bad extent. That might be something you could look into. Moving on. Other than that, I do like, you know, the risk of playing lower because you do have the health pack, but you're also at a huge disadvantage. You have to walk up narrow beams to get out, and that I think it would be neat if you could jump off that rock onto the box, but this strafe jump's gonna have to be enough. There we go, got it first time. That might be something you could actually look into removing, because I think allowing a sniper to get up here pretty much for free is just really, really bad, because, hell, you can even see these sight lines, and that's every way into mid, and that's a lot. That's really dumb, but I don't know, sniper is sniper, and it's always going to be strong, so I don't know if that's a huge issue. I do like the fact that other classes may be able to get up there, but even then, you know, having a med and a heavy play on the roof, the med just crouches on the bottom of it. He's not going to get backstabbed so long as he's not an idiot, and he's not going to get sniped. The fact that it's almost impossible to bomb onto mid doesn't help either. Soldiers are going to be bombing a lot once, like on a mid fight, but afterwards, as far as pushes go, it's going to be so close to the chokes that it's really going to be limited, and I think all soldiers are really going to be able to do is just spam off the walls in here because it's so stupidly narrow. Maybe try to like gank a combo that's passing by here. But I mean, I am looking. To be fair, I think you've done a great job with the map, and I think there's been a lot of time and effort put into it. Despite what I've been saying, I've been going for negatives more than positives. Um, I think probably the best thing about the map is that everything feels like it should. Like, you can go on all the little rocks and all the different, little props in here are things that you can go stand on. There's just a little thing of metal here that doesn't add anything, but you can walk on it. It's not bare. Going back in here, there's little boxes here that you can jump up on. Everything feels really natural about it, but just, as the video was saying, I feel like you could have done a little better in some spots. Again, and this is all just my opinion. I haven't played this yet, but I don't know. I'd like to think that my opinions about Ram Gym and Sunshine were fairly accurate, but I don't know. This is just feedback. I don't know if you want to just throw out all of this as garbage or, make some suggestions. Feel free to add me about this if you want to talk about it, because pretty sure this map is confirmed, and I'd love to see, some of the things about this made even better, and hopefully we could have another good 5 CP map in the rotation. I think because of the fact that, people are saying that last is pretty hard to defend, I think that makes it definitely promising, because if we could have a really solid 5 CP Highlander map, that would be incredible. So, yeah, thanks for listening, and that's it for now.